And good afternoon. Welcome to St. Joe's, Missouri at Revolutions Lanes. This is the Northwest Missouri Senior Bowlers Tour brought to you by Bullmore Lanes in Osage Beach, Missouri. I'm Ryan Ragland at the McCarthy Auto Group broadcast table. It is finals time for a very high-scoring finals and record-setting also. We'll just get straight to it. Don Breeden, what can you say? He absolutely just outclassed the field. 257, 237, 300 game 3, 258, 258, 267. Actually, that's 3. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong one, yeah. For 15, where'd my sheet go? That's what happened. Well, I don't know. Someone brought an extra sheet to me. Oh, there it is. My bad. Going 1836. Let me bring up the stepladder. And you can see the stepladder finals. Well, come on. There we go. That's crazy. 436 for 7 games. Brian Manini, 343 over. Julius Mickel, 264. Rafe Terry at 260. Kevin Mason at 250. That's just solid bowling. Now, what's kind of interesting, you have Don Breeden, Rafe Terry, Kevin Mason up and in. You have Brian Manini, the powerhouse, getting it right, coming back in. Julius Mickel, nice mid, but he can get it going. So, interesting little mix here. Kind of interesting to see how everything's going to work out. So now they got everything ready. Kevin Mason and Rafe Terry. And Kevin Mason is going to start. He wants to finish on the right lane. Rafe Terry from Lansing, Kansas. Larned. Made the long drive up here for the weekend. Kevin Mason from Independence. And both these guys kind of up and in. Not sure what. I think it might be the defender. Mason throwing a little bit further in. I was watching Rafe earlier, and he was throwing the reality, and he was pretty much up the outside. He has a different ball now. I'm not sure. I think it might be a radical. I'm not sure what ball he's throwing now. But Rafe has a very high tilt, so should be an interesting match. Make sure you hit the subscribe and the like button, and hit the alert bell. That way you get a alert every time we start a new broadcast. Both of them up and in, pretty much the same area. And drop us a line in the chat page. Let us know where you're watching from. Looking around to see who we can get to join me on the broadcast. In fact, I'm going to do some cropping here real quick. something went wrong here. Trying to get something straightened out here. That's why I haven't said too much about the match. Nice blower 7, 5-7 for Kevin Mason. Try and get this enough so you can see it maybe a little bit better. There we go, we'll try that. That ball just set up and pushed right through the pins. Nice pitch by Kevin Mason. Try and see if we can find Samuel somewhere, or get Brandon up here if he wants to. Actually, hey Jesse. Hey Jesse. Uh-oh. I hear an uh-oh. You gotta sit down a little bit. Get yesterday's winner, Jesse Campbell. You just take the thing. Scores were a tick bit higher than yesterday.
Yes, they were. I actually crossed with Rafe yesterday. He's about 200 pins better than yesterday.
Oh, my goodness.
So.
These scores went up, and they just kept going. And I mean, what do you say about Don Breeden?
That's amazing.
That's
I bowl league here, and what he averaged that's impressive. Him and Brian both just lit them up.
Yeah, but even as well as Brian bowled, Christ, I mean, by 80 pins, you're going. I made a comment. He shoots 267 when Breeden shoots Brian shot 268. Breen shot 267. I go, congratulations, you gained a pin on the leader.
Yes, that's about all you could do there.
Wow.
That guy can play. Carry that, and he did.
That's a good pitch by Rafe, and it's
Yes.
kind of interesting how the lanes have held up.
They held up even yesterday.
With that much
they
traffic,
held up
yeah.
very good with all the. There was several more revs played today than yesterday,
Yeah.
and they still held up well.
Well, and there's enough volume on the inside that when it gets to a point, the transition really slows down.
Yes.
It's not
You
gonna
edge.
it's not getting stupid enough where you have to make a whole zone move. I mean, that's not what you're looking for in a house shot.
Yes, and it ain't. Let's make 3-2, 3-2, 3-2 in
Yeah.
2 games. It's
Next thing you
once
know,
a day.
you're
Yes.
looking a whole arrow just to go off the next pair.
Kevin's bowling really good too.
Yeah, it's well, and Mason misses the 10 pin. Yeah,
Yeah, they're
there's a
dead even.
it's almost like your spare conversion on the 10 pin was a dictation on how well you were gonna bowl.
And it was there, when you didn't strike. Usually it was the corner pin
That one,
or a 9 pin.
I thought that was going to freeze a little bit, and it kept going.
Yes, he missed left, but he solid as you can hit it.
Yeah. Right now, Terry's got to be pretty relaxed and feeling pretty good.
Oh yeah, you got to. When named
Well,
like
and-
bacon, you should carry everything.
Well, and Rafe made the finals at Emporia.
He throws
At-
it well.
at Flint
I'd say he
Hills.
was fun to cross with yesterday. Didn't get to see a
And
lot
he
today,
he can get his ball to get through areas that a lot of people can't with that
yes,
high tilt.
Yes, he gets around to get that
That's-
extra.
I don't know. He called it a spin. I don't know if he calls it a spin,
But he actually told me that yesterday. Well, I started spinning a little more so I can get where you was playing. So that was a good move.
he's trying to get where you are.
Yes.
He watched you yesterday.
Yes. They're good.
Right over 10.
Oh yeah.
And you know what? And that's one of the shots where, oh my goodness, are you kidding me? Butker just missed the field goal
There you go.
with 8 seconds left.
That's
And he
not
missed.
like him.
And he missed. Well, the thing was, it wasn't a PAT.
It was a field goal. He usually don't miss those.
He pushed it right, and it just never came back.
Oh my.
He didn't miss it by much either. Wow. Everyone likes Butker, but he may not have a job after this year, at least in Kansas City. So he's swinging left lane. Now, yesterday the left lane was a lot more touchy than the
Extremely.
right lane. So,
Yes,
and today
it was.
it's hooking a
If you
little bit
missed
more.
Right, it hooked immediately. Kept it in. It went forever. I agree.
And that, kind
Which
of
is why I picked to finish on lane 16.
exactly. So it looks like the left lane's hooking a little bit more than the right. How about the Houston Texans putting a job on Dallas and giving them a run for their money? Now they're doing the same thing to Kansas City.
Yes. With one win, you wouldn't expect that.
Yeah. I can't remember who Dallas was playing, but a friend of mine is a big Cowboys fan. He goes, please, no trap game. Well, guess what? Kansas City's about ready to fall into a trap game.
Yes, they are. Sad.
I'd just like to be Houston, and your fate could possibly fall on a 50-50 flip of the coin.
For number 1 overall.
No, just to get the ball in the overtime.
Oh, yes. You won it. They definitely won.
Mason needs to walk up with a double. He gets that below can opener.
Big strike.
That one didn't quite roll up, but
Opened up the can of corn on that one.
Kansas City gets the ball to start the overtime. I just want to see them just get aggressive like they used to be. They haven't been aggressive lately.
And I have no idea why. They're the best
I,
offense
I,
maybe in the league. So
I
go
think
get it.
I think we need to get Steve Nagy back at OC. I mean, I think you're getting to a lull with the enemy as much as people like him. Great, great guy.
Ooh.
He got that one.
Yep.
He was playing inside a little bit. So that's exactly what he needed.
Yes. That hit hard.
So Rafe can strike out, going 68.
Go 258.
Yeah, my bad.
Kevin
I
can
was
have
going
46 if he punches.
So it's
Very, very close.
He needed that double to get Rafe to put a little pressure on him to show up. That's a good pitch.
That was big.
And you can tell he's throwing right at 10 on 16. And he's going to be looking about 12, 13 on the left lane.
15. That's what I'm seeing. Big shot here.
Rafe's not one to rush too much into it. He'll take his time and go through his routine.
Big strike.
Oh, that was a good pitch.
Yep.
The ball got down lane and it couldn't decide if it wanted to tip or not.
Now either a strike, 9 spare gives him the title or the match. My bad.
No, Kansas City has a ball at their own 9-yard line, so they're going to have to go a distance.
Ooh, he threw it good.
Yeah. Oh, and he got the tip. He got the Tommy tip over. That the ball hit just flat enough.
Just flat enough. Get that 6 to say thank you, Tim.
So Rafe Terry is going to move on. And he's going to be taking on Julius Mickel. We'll take a timeout, be back with match number 2 in a couple minutes. Ryan Ragland back with you at the McCarthy Auto Group broadcast table with the Northwest Missouri Senior Bowlers Tour brought to you by Bullmore Lanes and Osage Beach, Missouri. And a huge thanks to all the other sponsors, Berkey's Turkeys, Pro Shop here at Revolutions Lanes, Jason Chris with Face Designs, doing all the graphics and the banner work, Finley Trucking, Lisa Finley with Shelter Insurance, and of course Storm, Rotogrip, and 900 Global. And the Chiefs on 4th and short. Mahomes gets sacked on 4th and 16, so they have to punt in overtime to Houston. So Julius wants to finish on the left lane. Not sure if that's just because he likes the left lane or just wants to finish first. And Rafe is throwing the defender hybrid. He said the defender was kind of a little bit too early for him, and the hybrid just lets him get a little bit more, and he's has the left lane a couple boards drier than the right one. We have a fumble. Kansas City's point, Kansas City's way. See what the refs say. And Gay comes up with the ball. The refs are still talking. They haven't decided what they're going to do yet. Yep, they signal at Kansas City with the ball at Houston's 26-yard line. That's when they need it back. They already had 2 turnovers. Mickel's throwing a phase 2 with a little bit of surface. And if that doesn't dictate to you how well the inside holds up, and kind of like what me and Jesse were talking about, how that transition kind of slows down once it gets inside. That one's left. Whew. Close. Excuse me about that. So Rafe Terry's made 2 of the last 3 finals. He made one at Flint Hill Lanes and Emporia. Bowled yesterday. Kind of struggled a little bit, and you heard Jesse say he's about 200 over what he shot yesterday. Kind of amazing how a difference a day makes. And he's really, and I'll tell you what, I'll have to ask Julius about that, but I think the last thing I want is Rafe Terry finishing on the right lane. McKinnon with the touchdown to score and ball game for the Chiefs. Well, first play after the fumble. Kansas City just needs to get the hell on the jet and get out of town. That's going to be one that's going to hurt Houston for a little while. I'm not sure I'd be celebrating too much. I wrapped in. And I think that's the difference. Rafe can play more up and let the ball just tilt and roll in. Ball has to burn up a little bit more energy on that left lane. And the cover on the 10. So Buffalo and Kansas City both squeak out wins. That's kind of something I'm wondering about that phase two, a little bit of service that Julius is throwing. He's throwing a little bit more inside, and you got to make sure you really hit your spot down lane to get the ball to tilt enough. And I wonder with that surface if it's might cause it to burn up a little bit early. On the spare. And that left lane hooking a little bit more. I got to think it might be a bad ball choice for Julius. See if I get Kevin up here. Kevin, you want to get on a little bit? You don't have to.
Oh, yeah,
You don't have to.
yeah, maybe here in a minute.
That's all right. Take your time. See if we can get Kevin Mason on for a little bit. And the spare. Julius is going to have to make a move on that left lane. Now is when Rafe wants to come up with a big double and really put some pressure on Julius Mickel. And the blower 7. Right now, Rafe's been pretty automatic on that right lane. Put a little extra mustard on that one. Wow, that blower 7 goes in front of the 5 goes in front of the 7. Rafe kind of tried to help that one a little bit, get it to tilt a little bit more where he was. And that's kind of what I was saying before. I think you want Rafe to finish on that left lane. Wow, good pitch by Julius. Nice pitch. Missed that ring 10. That's kind of, well, that'll let the air out of your balloon any day. Winner of this match takes on Brian Manini and then Don Breeden, who we are thinking set a qualifying record, averaging 262 for 7 games. His low game 237, the other 6, 57, 300, 58, 58, 67, 59. That's pretty stout. See what kind of move Julius makes on this one. He looks like he's obviously moving left. Trying to kind of a freeze-up shot. Didn't let the ball work too much on the outside. Got the carry. And Jacksonville has defeated Dallas 40-34. Wow. Dallas puts up 34 and still lose. I tell you what, Jacksonville's coming up. Jets are coming up. Lions. Next year could be very interesting. Oh, that's a hard 10 pin by Rafe. And Rafe on the cover. So right now, Rafe, 248 possibility. $245 possibility for Julius. Ooh, that's a hard back-to-back 10 pin. I know what that feels like. Now see what Julius can do now. He made the move on the left lane. Throws a good shot on the right lane. Uh-oh. 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 Something just didn't seem right with that release by Rafe. Now the Bo Burton quote, it would behoove Julius to strike on this one, which would give him a double off that open from Rafe. Yeah, that's what you're looking for. Straight back, split to 8-9. Let's do some work, Julius, from Jamal Weber. He's working. He's working. That works. Thank you, sir. Julius goes a wrap 10 on this, or check that he struck last time off an adjustment, kind of really playing deep on it. That one got out early, goes 4-pin. You want your sheet back, Dan?
Yeah, I'm going to sit here.
If you're going to sit here, you're going to talk.
I know.
It's been a pretty good weekend.
Yeah, it's been a great weekend. Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun this weekend. The bowling's been
Wow,
fantastic.
today, Don Breeden. I mean, what do you say?
Yeah, like I said, I think I need to go back and look, but I think this one might have been one of our highest.
Easy. It's to me, it's easy. It's an easy record.
Yeah, 7-game blocks. I mean, yeah.
I'm curious on how many times he changed equipment, because Breeden's the one that he can sit there and change equipment, but at the same time, he can sit there and manipulate his hand enough to do what he needs to.
Yeah, I asked him what he was throwing, and it was a blue melee or melee jab. So he just drilled it last night.
Yeah.
I was like, well, that's a hell of a good ball choice.
That's a really new ball for him.
Yeah.
He likes to throw the
old,
really old stuff.
Yes, he does. So,
And Rafe just coming off killer back-to-back 10 pins
yeah, I seen that.
his last time up. Oh my goodness.
Oh, did he just
Oh
hit
my
10?
goodness. Are you kidding me?
Oh, wow.
That's
Oh, that's a bad break.
that's oh my goodness.
Unreal. We got replay?
I'm not. I need to look and see if there's a way to do that, but there's got to be some way for it.
Oh, that's a bad break.
That's not even.
Yeah.
An enemy doesn't even. Well, I guess an enemy does deserve that, but
Yeah.
Rafe doesn't.
What's that mean?
I don't know. I missed it.
Oh, it said high CPU usage or something.
Yeah, I gotta. It's kind of at times it's kind of been lagging. I may need to.
Tell
See.
you what, I love the way the banners look.
They do look good like that.
Yeah, they look really good.
That turned out real
Frames,
nice.
everything.
So we have our.
Push.
Oh,
Attaboy.
we have our banner placement coordinator in Lisa Finley.
She did good today.
So whenever it's time for the banners, we get them out there, and I say, "Tell me where they go," and she just
Yeah.
she gives us the hand signals, and these you can use on everyday usage.
Yeah.
Not the ones that not the ones that we try to hide.
All right. Well, Julius sort of, with Rafe's bad luck here, Julius is sort of sitting pretty.
And he just needs to stay clean. But
Yeah.
I got to be thinking
Has he been playing in that deep?
he made the move a couple frames ago in the left lane. The right lane is the one that's a little bit cleaner.
Okay.
But I thought maybe he had a bad ball choice. He's
Yeah.
made some moves. I don't think he needs service because he pumped a little bit of service on that face too. Before the practice.
Oh, Julius. Oh no,
Let's
Julius.
just give it right back to him. So 202 possibility for Julius could possibly give Rafe a new sign of life because he can go 205. So you go and just staying clean, make my marks and stuff. Oh, excuse me.
Yeah.
We saw this yesterday with Russ Edwards.
Yeah.
With Ed Reese.
Yeah.
And Rafe is finishing on his good lane. I made the comment earlier, I don't think I want Rafe finishing on that right lane. And he's been hitting the pocket too.
That was a good shot.
Yeah. Now on the adjustment, he didn't quite get it as far right,
Yeah.
but I think he wanted to make sure he was going to, it was going to hold because there's enough surface or enough volume inside.
Yeah.
It's going to get there. So whatever Julius does, Rafe needs to match that.
Yes. Yeah. Right. Yep. Julius is 202 off the sheet, right?
Yep. And Rafe's 205.
Yeah.
That one hit early enough. Didn't quite get that one as far right. So if he strikes here, that's going to force Rafe to go up and double and go 8 for the win.
So, can you tell how many viewers we have?
Currently we have 25.
Hey. Hi, all 25.
25, but the one thing I like doing is, then I'll put I didn't get a chance to do it now, but put the link on the Facebook page.
Yeah.
And then you can go back on YouTube and see what kind of viewership we've had.
All right.
So a
well,
double and 8 for Rafe.
Rafe knows what he needs to do here.
Yeah. And he's on his good lane. I wonder if he's going to... Left lane, last time in the left lane, looked like he tried to help it a little bit to get it to tip over. And he made the ball switch from the Defender Hybrid. Now he's throwing to Reality. So, kind of surprised he made the ball change in the middle of the game.
So he's throwing now. Is it a
He's throwing to Reality now. Earlier, he was throwing the Defender Hybrid.
Okay.
Gave it room. Smash.
Nice shot. Posted
Smash.
that one. It's pretty much that was textbook right there.
And you notice he walked back and just big, deep breath. We still got business to do. Yeah, you saw where your buddy Scott Greiner was going last night. Christmas party at the Kegel Training Center.
Yes, I did see that.
But I had Pizza Royal, so
Yeah,
I don't know if
that's
he
a
would
close
trade
second.
that.
Yeah, Pizza Royal is really good.
All right, needs a strike here. Not out as far. Yeah.
Oh,
He had to get that one right and just didn't get it there. So Julius Mickel is going to come up with the win
got over the top
on
of
the
that
spare.
one.
On the spare, it's going to be 192. Good day of bowling for Rafe, qualifying 260 over. Making the show 2 of the last 3 tournaments. So we're going to take a timeout as Julius Mickel and Brian Manini are up next. Ryan Ragland back with you at the McCarthy Auto Group broadcast table with the Northwest Missouri Senior Bowlers Tour brought to you by Bullmore Lanes in Osage Beach, Missouri, as we're getting set with number 3 seed Julius Mickel going up against number 2 seed and owner Brian Manini. And usually this will do pretty good on getting you up there in the tournament lead as when you qualify 340 over. Yeah, not today, but Brian Manini goes 228, 58, 48, 38, 56, 68, 47. So, and Brian Manini has decided he wants to finish first on the left lane. So we'll see how that works out. As Julia stays with the phase 2. And Brian is going to stay with the exotic gem. He threw the whole time during qualifying. Drilled up a few days ago, and I guess he really likes it. And Brian Manini's just that power player. The Cowboys are denied playoffs. Wow. And that was in overtime. That also was overtime. Good Lord. And Brian Manini's playing both of them pretty similar right now. We can get Ed. No, get Ed. Ed. You're gonna stick around. If you're gonna stick around. You're gonna stick around. We're gonna put you on. Got Ed. I lassoed Ed Reese, and difference in today from yesterday.
Well, yesterday I actually was throwing the ball well.
No, today you didn't.
No,
Okay.
no.
You made a lot more ball changes today than you did yesterday.
I went through every ball I had in my bag today.
Gotcha.
Yes. It just seemed like yesterday, you know, I got some breaks and you know, it's like I was able to stay slow and soft and carry. Today, it just seemed like
It just wasn't there.
it just wasn't there. Yeah.
And it's amazing how that can happen from day to day.
Oh, well, I mean, I think a little bit of it is you kind of come in with a preconceived, you know, plan, and then of course, you know,
Wow, I did that yesterday. That didn't
Yeah.
work out either.
yeah, you catch a break in one, and then you know you don't, and it's like now all of a sudden you're trying to chase it a little bit. You know, I think that it transitioned differently yesterday. Yesterday it seemed like it got tighter as the day went, and today it actually opened up. So
Kind of interesting taking a look at 3 of the top 5 were up and in.
yeah, I
You know.
think that. But I also think that that's where you need to be to get the 10 out. You know, it seemed like, with the exception of Mr. Manini here, you know, he's able to generate the revs and still
Yeah.
have the speed to. That looks like a pretty good shot.
He's playing them in more similar than
Yeah.
anyone has. But when you sit back and think about what Don Breen did today, that's just
He's a machine.
yeah. And I don't know if you heard the 300 he shot on 21-22. That was number 106 for him.
106.
106. That's a pretty good number.
That's a few more than me.
That's almost 100 more than me.
Oh, wow.
I don't get to bowl that much, so I take what I can get when I get it.
Yeah, I just don't know how you can count that high.
Who keeps track?
I stopped after 40.
I'm like 14, 15, somewhere in there. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, there's some that aren't counted, I guess, but I still count them. But
Yeah.
okay. I don't know. I shot one in 9-pin no tap that was real.
Oh.
Do I count that one? No.
Yes, absolutely.
I do. Okay. Okay, 15 or 16. So Manini with the front 4. You got that one in. Now yesterday the left lane was a touchy one. Today it doesn't seem touchy. It's just drier.
Yeah.
And Ray said he had about 3 boards.
Yeah, yesterday I thought that 16 actually was hooking just, I don't know if it was just a little snappier, but
Yeah, it's kind of strange how some were saying it was hooking more, but the guys that were most of the guys that were up there were the ones that were playing up and in. They were more forward.
yeah. Well, I think that you had in the field today, you actually had more guys covering boards than we did yesterday.
Yeah.
So you didn't see that. I think that they just opened up differently because of that. Because you had like
But that
Darryl.
spot down lane was still touchy.
It was, yeah, it was.
Uh-oh. I thought he might have got that one in. Yeah.
You know-
Okay, he did. Okay. I didn't know if that was just me or not.
Yeah, I was talking to Joey earlier, and he goes, he crossed with Manini today, and he goes, "Oh, I threw that one bad," and Joe goes, "Well, Manini's bad shots are better than my best shots."
Yeah. Yeah, he was talking about a cut on his finger. He was talking about his cut on his finger, and we had a little joke about that. Flush. Kind of likes that exotic gym a little bit.
I'm not much of a storm ball fan, but that one looks really good.
It's looking pretty good. Yeah, there's no way I could. I'm not even gonna think about getting a gym. I don't think it. With my game, I need something that has 80 grit on it and out of the box, and
Oh yeah.
you know,
Well,
I don't want to throw something I would highly consider putting on my truck to get through a snowstorm. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, well, the late and great Mo Pinnell said that there's no room for polish in a bowling bag.
Is that really?
Yes, it's true.
That's. I'll tell you what. That's a guy I miss watching.
Oh,
and I don't know if you've seen it, but if you can come across it, and this goes for anybody, there's like a 90-minute seminar video that he did talking about center of gravity and how it doesn't matter.
Right.
It's incredible. The knowledge that guy had was just between him and Rick Benoit,
Oh yeah.
two of the smartest guys in bowling that you would know. That's a good pitch. That's a good pitch. Now see, that's more closer to the first ball he threw when he made a move mid-game against Rafe.
Well, I mean, this is going to shape up to if Julius can put a little more pressure on
Keep putting the
Brian.
pressure on him. You got that one in a pinch.
Yep.
Got in and just didn't get it to that spot, and that's kind of what I was talking about. That spot down lane
Oh, yeah.
was still touchy, and that goes to that volume that's in the middle.
Yep.
So with the spare, match is going to be tied up. Kind of interesting when you take a look at the five guys that made the show yesterday, even though it was the non-champions, to the five guys that made it today. You got Kevin Mason, Rafe Terry, Julius Mickel, Brian Manini, and Don Breeden. That four of the five that showed up today were past champions, and it's that deal where the cream rises up. That's about as pure a shot as you're going to get.
Yeah. Well, there's still a reason I am not a champion. So
There's a reason why I was bowling yesterday. The reason why I was smart enough I'm not bowling today. But the scores, I should have the sheet from.
all right, looked like looks like he kind of pushed that one a little
170. That's wow. I'm not sure what's going on. Like 173 over made the cut yesterday, and today it was 250.
bit. Yeah, 173 wouldn't have made the
No.
last cash spot today.
Yeah. And 294 by Jesse obviously would have made it, but as they say, when you get the good bowlers out, the scores will go up. Good friend of mine, Mark Berkemine, said when a good bowler walks in, the score just went higher.
When Mark walks in, the scores go higher.
When Mark would walk in, the scores would just go up. So,
Yep.
and I think I still have yet to run into anyone in bowling that hasn't met him.
Yeah, everybody knows Mark.
Oh. Looks like you might have got slow with that one.
Well, you push the last one, overcompensate usually.
Yeah.
Even the good ones.
I would think Brian would walk up in this one. He's going to make sure he gets this one right, and it's going to.
Yeah.
If it hits the pocket, it's going to explode.
And he covers it.
Julius walking back, going, "Yep, I did not throw that one well."
I missed an opportunity.
And when he goes back to back spare, when he, walking up on the right lane, had a chance to.
At least put some pressure
Yeah.
on him.
How about those Cowboys? Losing in overtime to Jacksonville. We won't talk about Kansas City. At least they won the game, but that one got right. It just got interesting, folks. So Julius could strike out for 257, or no, 247. And 239 for Mr. Manini.
59.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It all comes down to what Brian does here first
Yep.
ball of 10th. Strike 9.
And go,
Closes and
and go.
shuts him out.
Well, actually, you can just go 9 spare and go 49. Yep, he's that first one. There's that one. That's a big ball right there.
And it just needs a total of 9 pins.
Just needs to count.
It's looking pretty good.
Yeah, he helped that one. So Brian Manini comes up with a 249 score to win. Julius Mickel will fill out the 10th frame and finish third. So it's going to be Brian Manini and Don Breeden as it should. As he goes to scout for the 10, we'll take a timeout. Back with the championship match coming up in just a minute. Ryan Ragland back with you alongside Ed Reese at the McCarthy Auto Group broadcast table with the final match here of the Northwest Missouri Senior Bowlers Tour, brought to you by Bullmore Lanes and Osage Beach, Missouri. Don Breeden, the machine.
The machine.
The machine, yeah. Average 262, 257, 237, 300, 258, 258, 267, 259. That'll get you a lot of bucks and brackets and pretty much get you a tournament lead.
Oh, he's a roller.
And he gets the tip. So Manini with the nice scout on the 10 pin. I can't imagine there was too many brackets that Don didn't win.
Well,
Unless he caught a fluke game where someone goes 270. I really haven't seen any. So
well, he at least got all mine.
yeah, that was a buzzsaw. Stuck a little bit, but got it to carry. And he's a little bit further inside than Rafe was
Yeah.
when he started. I was giving Don a little bit of grief. He was on 23 and 24. I said, up 5, Don, up 5.
Yeah.
Then when he goes to 21, 22, and he's playing inside 5, and Shawnee just shoots 300.
Right.
I'll shut up and go back to the booth and just watch.
It is pretty impressive on, Don's game. It's like he can play the twig. He
Yeah.
can move in. I mean,
And he's really
so
inside.
versatile.
He might be further inside I've ever seen him throw on that one.
Well, he is throwing that new reactive ball now, so
He can recover. He can make it.
there it
Good
is.
pitch.
This game just might come down to who misses first.
It could. Chances are, just going by, the way things are, it could be Brian, but man, that's when you're leading the field, 26 a game, 15 to 26 a game. Wow, he really sent that one right.
Yeah.
He really pitched that one right quick.
I did feel in the final match, the final matches yesterday, that this pair really opened up well, and outside of the two that I didn't get right like at all,
Yeah.
ball would recover, and it created some room out there. Kind of appears like this pair is opened up the same way today.
Wow, 4-9. That might be the first split that Don had today.
All day, yeah.
Because I can't be thinking if you're going 438 over for 7 games, I'm not thinking you had too many splits.
I don't know what the statistic on that would be, but it would be very small.
And plus, on top of that, if you're Brian, you got to be thinking this may be the only break I get. I better walk up and double on it after the open.
Yeah, put a little pressure on Donnie. It's the only pressure he's had all day.
Does Breeden really feel pressure?
No.
Okay, that was the answer I was looking for.
Well, when you're that good, you just
You
You
get
play
so
your
much
game.
into emotion. And bowling a guy like Breeden can get frustrating because the game is so easy. It's just,
Yeah.
nothing crazy to it. Just up and in. Doesn't have to cover a lot of boards.
Yeah.
That's way in. Wow.
What was I saying earlier?
Wow.
His worst shot is better than my best.
Wow. Now I can see right by his foot where the ball lands, and that thing was 1920.
Well, that's what you get when you have the revs that Brian have.
And there's enough volume, just enough to hold.
Just enough. That's a much
He's
better
way
shot.
inside 20 on that one.
Oh,
And didn't recover. He didn't get that one quite right like he
Yep.
did the last one. But he's way inside 20 on that lane. Where he's still right of 20 on the right lane. So that kind of tells you where your front oil is.
yep. Still has the lead.
Don walking up and doubling could really knock on the door and say, yeah, I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. That was a pretty good pitch.
10 back.
Yeah, that'll fit anywhere. I was
What
going
did
to
you
say
see on that one?
I was going to say if that one made it back, that was probably the most boards I'd seen him cross for a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, you get to a point where that front oil's not there, and he's now getting into a lot of volume that he really wasn't getting into through
Right.
the qualifying.
Yeah, because there's still a puddle in the middle there.
That pedal will not be going anywhere for a while.
No.
Yeah, he got that one out quick. Where before he threw at 20, that one he threw about 14.
Yeah, get it out
Probably
just
about
a little
16.
early.
That direction was just bang, just dead right early. As they say, we have a match. That's not what you wanted. Doesn't hurt as much on the spare, but yeah, you don't want to give up the 2 pins on it.
So what are we looking at here? 40, 49, 49? 49, 45?
That's a better pitch. That's that difference of getting it right and
Well, getting it right down lane compared to getting it right.
early.
Yeah.
249 for Manini. 245 for Breeden. So a 4-point or 4-pin lead for Manini. Straight back. Now, I've been surprised that who's ever come into the match, the higher seed, has chose to finish on the left lane. I would think you'd want to on the right lane.
Well,
And
I think that that's the way it's shaping up.
Yeah, but Don's going to be finishing on the left lane,
Yes.
and he's been money on that one.
Well, he did opt to finish first in the 10th.
Oh, jeez. So he goes 9 pin, 7 pin. I'm thinking lane choice could play into this the way it's going. But then again, to me, I'm thinking Brian wants to finish on the left lane.
Yeah.
Because that's,
Has a little more hold.
well, he can get it out. He can just pitch it right, knowing it's going to come back.
Yeah.
They made a move. See, and that's why I'm thinking he wants to be on that left lane, because 16 is playing tighter, and he really has to be careful with it. Where on the left lane, there's friction right, so he can just throw to it and just watch it come back.
Right. Yeah,
Where, to me, Don, is throwing good balls on the right lane.
right.
Yeah, well, I was going to say big spare, and so the tournament leader averaging 262 can punch out for 225. Second in the standings, average 249, and can finish 217. My, how the lanes have changed. Oh.
Got a break.
Well, that's what I mean. He can just pitch it to that spot right and know it's going to come back as long as he gets the right direction with it. The right lane for him is just,
Yeah.
he knows he needs to make a move and he doesn't want to get too far right, and he's going to hang spot.
It did seem like when these lanes opened up like this, it wasn't a little move left. It was like a big step left.
Yeah.
But you still had to get it right or up down around 7 down lane.
Alrighty.
It's going to come down to what happens there in the 10th.
Yep. So Brian Manini, possibility of 217 on the finish. 214 for Don Breeden. So need a big double out of Don here to put some pressure on Manini. So now, where I thought Don would want to finish on the right lane, now it may end up being 15, even though he struggled. Now he's, now he got the first one, the 10th on the left lane after the 8 pin and the 7 pin.
Yeah, and the way that it's shaping up, the way that Brian's struggling on 16.
After the, on the 6 count and the split.
Maybe Don knew something that we didn't see.
We didn't. It's like the guys in Vegas. Oh, you're going to give them 20 pins, or what do you know that we don't?
That's right.
Yeah, be wondering what's going through Brian's mind on what kind of adjustment he's going to make.
Yeah, that pin will be
that-
insignificant.
Yeah,
Really.
it didn't matter. So neither double out of Brian. I got to figure he's gonna get it right. He's gonna try to find that friction.
I would imagine that he's probably going to maybe even move his feet farther. He looks like he moved left,
He did.
and I'd be surprised if this ball doesn't touch 7.
There
it
you
is.
go.
It's just a matter of there it is.
Oh. Brian just let out maybe the biggest deep
sigh.
breath that he has for a while after that one. He's just, he's walking up going, God, I hope this works.
Well, at that point, it's blind faith.
Oh. So the big one here. Oh. And what happened? He didn't get it to 7.
Didn't get it to 7.
He didn't get it out there.
Yep.
I'll tell you right now, that's probably one of the best matches we've had this year. With Don Breeden coming up after qualifying 436 over for the 7 games. Brian Manini finishes second.
Congratulations, Donnie Breeden.
We'll get with Brian here in a second, and Brian Manini, and Don Breeden.
Great bowling today by Donnie, great bowling by Brian. Let's give him a hand. Great bowling.
Going to get Don over here, and I've got to be thinking, I was thinking the person that was coming up next, the higher seed, I was thinking wanting the right lane was going to be in favor, and every time someone came up, they were always wanting to finish on the left lane.
Right.
Ended up, right lane at that time was giving Brian a little bit of a trouble.
Right.
And was there something that you knew that we didn't know, or?
Usually when I bowl match play, if I'm just bowling in the Stepladder, I like to throw 2 balls at a time, just 2 and 2 and 2 and 2. I don't really pay attention to lane or what anybody else is done. Now, maybe if I saw somebody that was really struggling, a different way, I might change my mind. But I just always like 2 frames at a time, and I don't really think about it much, to tell you the truth.
Just that personal preference that you
Rhythm.
have?
Just rhythm. I don't like starting and then having to throw one on the end. I just like 2 at a time. And just like bowling match play when you're bowling against somebody, after you started the match, just 2 and 2 and 2, just rhythm. Nothing more than that.
And then you got Brian Manini over here, averaging 250 for but and then you're looking at the score sheet, and just Breeden does what Breeden does, and you're going, well, if I hold second, I guess that's doing pretty good.
Yeah, I was going to try to catch him, but he can't shoot 360. So, but no, he bowled great all day. He deserved the win, so that's good. I'm getting used to this anyway. So
that first shot in the 10th, me and Ed Reese were talking, going, and Ed goes, I would be surprised if this ball does not get to 7 after the first couple. And after you threw that first one, saw you let out probably one of the biggest sighs of relief on that first one that we've seen for a while.
yeah, I mean, I made the shots in the 10th. I missed a spare like a dummy. Can't do that. So that's that's the name of the game. Pick up spares.
Well, and
I
it's
said earlier, it doesn't ever get easy.
no, well, and it's been a great 2 days tournaments with everyone showing up, the way the lanes were and the way they held up, and they didn't, a lot of places they'll get stupid dry where you really got to get left. Nice pattern where it, when it starts transition, kind of slows down. You can stay there for a little bit, manipulate it, and then it makes the move. And, I just think what you have here worked out really, really well.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I know a lot of guys, well, not a lot of guys, some guys have carry issues here, and hopefully this helps teach them how to manipulate the ball to get to the right angle and all that stuff. But it held up pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. Yeah.
Well,
Compared to last year, I mean, it held up a lot longer. And he had told me, when I saw him the last time, he goes, "Oh, it's much different. It's holds up a lot longer, and people like it a lot better." And he told the truth. It was just the way it was.
that was a nice job by Brian, and thanks for everything you guys did here. And now the question I got to ask here, I get a message from Jan Thomas.
Yeah,
Your 300 was 106.
that's right.
So my question is, the most memorable 300 you've had in 106 of them.
Well, oh geez, it would be. I had one time at the National Resident Pro in Reno,
Okay.
and probably that one meant more to me than any of them because it was right in the middle of a big deal, and we had come on to a pair that was really, really dry. And all the guys who were the leaders, I wasn't even close to them. I did end up making the cut because of shooting 300, but they were just flying, and they were playing fifth arrow, and on that pair, they were playing almost like sixth and seventh arrow, just lofting it. So I ran way down to the other end of the building. I had a straighter ball that I hardly ever threw, but I thought, it hooks so much here, it might work. So I just guessed when I started. I was playing in between third and fourth arrow where they were throwing, way further in, but everything worked out. And the very last ball, it had one of those delayed ringing 10s where you ring the 10 and then they tip in real late. So it was fun.
Had to go over the flair to the dramatic a little bit.
Yeah, it was. And Jan wasn't there for that one, too. She had left that day to go shopping with all the women, so she didn't even get to see it, but I was crossing with her in East Sligo, and a couple of good guys, and, they were not as easy the second day as they were the first day. The scores were much higher the first day, and they toned them down a little bit. So that was a big thing. I enjoyed it a lot.
Well, and you go 436 over, which I got to think is a record for the 7-game block. And your lowest game was 236, I believe. But man, when you get into a rhythm like that, it's just you just go through the motion, and I got to think your mind just isn't into it. You're just repetitive motion.
Well, I've had some really great instructors for 40 years, and when I went to them, I didn't throw the ball anything like I do now. I wound up on it like every other kid did, but they explained it to me a different way, and we just started working on it. And it took. I could compete in scratch events, but really to be highly competitive, it took about 5 years, and I went to college for a couple of years in bowl. Rafe and I have known each other for 35 years. He was at Wichita when I was bowling with Vincennes, and I constantly work at it too.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't practice a lot, and I don't practice an overabundance, but I do go out I bowl league a couple times a week, and I go out every Sunday with my wife, and we bowl every Sunday, and other times too I fill in and stuff, so I'm constantly doing it, but I'm also constantly learning too. My old bowling instructor told me years and years ago that when I was probably almost 40 then, he said, "You haven't even learned how to bowl yet." And I thought that was really funny because he told me that back way back in the old era, like in the 30s and 40s and 50s, that the guys who were 55 and 60 were actually the best bowlers because they had the patience to pick up spares and not get riled up about not shooting a big game or whatever. And he was right. I learn more and more all the time as I go along. I'm always tweaking. Now, it may not look like it. My release doesn't look impressive to most people, but what people don't, a lot of people think that I spin the ball a lot, and I don't. My axis is very long, and they just don't realize it. So I constantly just tweak it a little bit. This ball that I threw today, I just drilled it up last night. I mean, I finished it off about 5 this morning. I was cutting the thumb hole and everything to get ready to go. But it was I don't usually throw 16s, but this one was an overgross 15, and I knew how the carry could be here, so I thought maybe the lighter ball might just trip them a little better and deflect a little more rather than leaving so many 8s and 9s. But the carry, for a lot of people, it was, but I've learned over the years in bad carrying houses, it's better not to use stuff that flares a whole lot. Much tighter is much better. And all these layouts I use all roll pretty tight. The flare is not, maybe an inch and a half, very little flare. So it helps. This stuff, when they really carry like that, it's not good to have it cutting a lot. Then you leave it. I mean, you can leave really anything. I mean, I seen somebody leave an 810 today, and I mean, that thing came back a mile, and it looked like a truck, and it was just as flat as a donut when it hit. But oh well, I just do what I do, and that's what I've always done, and I won't change it any.
Well, it was great bowling tonight. 436 over 7 games. That's gonna make you pretty good money anywhere you go.
Well, absolutely. It's always nice. I didn't know what the record was and had no idea why I was bowling, so it's always fun when you can do that. And sometimes somebody else will snap it off too. I mean, it's just always good to get over those hurdles, and it's fun.
Again, it's going to make that trip back home a little bit nicer.
Oh yeah, always. Well, we love coming down here. You guys do a great job. I mean, I think anybody's missing out that doesn't jump in, because these guys are all good enough to host everything. Brian does a great job. I've known him for years. We bowled regionals forever and ever. And, you know, I mean, this just gives the old guys a little platform to play on, have a little fun. And it's highly competitive. These guys are really great bowlers. I mean, anybody who thinks that they're not, they haven't bowled against them. No, they know what they're doing, and they're no slouches, I can tell you that. And I just hope it continues to grow, because Dave and I love it, and we got a couple other guys who are probably going to be coming down next year because they're retiring and stuff, so they got extra time. And I just say that anybody that hasn't been here,
You need to do it.
get on in, especially if you're over 60. You get really the riches in the 60 division, so I don't know why anybody would even hold back. I'll guarantee you, when I turn 60, I won't ever miss.
There you go. Well, congratulations on a great weekend. Nice job. And, well, that's two out of three. 2 out of 3 for you.
I had been lucky enough to have good reactions. You know, well, you have to have great reaction to stay on the top. I mean, that's the way it is. I can fit it in such a small area that I don't need too much, you know, and I don't try to get too much. I think some people, I used to bowl with a friend of mine in college. He was a great bowler and had great form, but as soon as he knew that he had a little bit in and a little bit out, then he wanted to hit all 5 of it, you know, instead of just making good shots. His mind would go a little off track, and then he wouldn't carry. He'd hit the pocket all day. But when you're going to bowl at this level, well, and you have to pick up spares too.
Yeah,
I mean, I didn't miss anything until the only open I had was the 4-9.
I was going to say that 4-9 might have been the first one you had all night.
It was the only time I even came close to anything. One other time I think I came a little high when I threw the first ball on a pair, when they were just slightly different. And granted, when you go across the house, you're going to catch differences. And you hope that when that happens that you can get 9 and then move on from there. Or maybe you get lucky enough to
Get a decent read off of it and then
Yeah.
go from there.
You know, if you go 9 spare, at least you got one shot on each one, and you got a chance, you know. But there's a lot of strategy to bowling that a lot of people don't understand. I mean, knowing what the balls do and what one to go grab, you know, take a chance on it. And I had no idea this ball would have worked that well, but just because of the lighter ball, and I like the core a lot. They roll absolutely fantastic, and I don't know why they never went over that well, because they're pretty good for not.
Maybe I have to get one.
Well, I sure wouldn't be afraid to try one, because I started out with one that was the cheapest one that they made, and they were like almost giving them away. So when the no hole rule came,
I think I remember seeing that.
yeah, I decided I'm using layouts that a friend of mine, Brian Berg, we used it. Oh, it's been 30 years ago, you know, when we still could use a hole, but he turned me onto it. It probably isn't quite 30, but over 25.
Right.
And I thought when that no hole rule came in, I thought, you know, I'll go back and I'm going to try some of those, because they always rolled great, you know, but back in those days, you always wanted more pop, not less. So shifting them negative and having them, you know, tight rolling, it was not really he did it in real strong balls, though. That's what he would do, the high flaring ones. And he could tone them down a lot, you know, and he could throw them straighter. And when you can throw an atomic bomb and you keep it on a pretty straight line, you got a pretty good running chance when you get there.
Kind of what you do.
Well, I tease one guy that I bowled with on Tuesday night in league. The name of the game is to hit the front 2. You know, you got to hit the front 2 pins. If you can't do that, you're not going to go too far anyway. So that's I always joke with that guy about Days of Thunder, where what the guy says, what's the one thing you got to do to win a race? And those guys are all, I don't know, what is the one thing you got to do?
You got to last. You got to stay out there. You got to finish.
It's the same principle. I mean, and you know, you look at somebody like Walter Ray. I mean, that's all he does. All he's ever done. Just live in the front 2 pins, and he's a horseshoe pitcher, so he knows what to do. Yeah, I mean, does he look flashy doing it? Does it look correct a lot of times? No, but he just does the same thing. Well, he's got great hand-eye coordination. That guy's I've bowled with him many times, and he's a strategist too when it comes to bowling. I mean, when we'd warm up on the over 50 tour and stuff, he'd sit and throw nothing but a plastic ball right up the second arrow for about 10 minutes. You got 15. After the 10 minutes were over, all the good stuff would come out. The big sticks would come out. And usually the first game he would never shoot any never less than 230. But usually it was like 250 or 270 because he had it dialed in. So he'd have the majority of his block work done in one game. then it was just add on. So just strategy.
Well, congratulations. Great tournament, great weekend.
All right.
And
Everything you do,
I
we
guess we're going to see you in Olathe.
You will, and Merry Christmas.
All right, you too.
All right.
Don Breeden had another great tournament, averaging 262 for the 7 games. Comes up with a nice tight finish with, against Brian Manini and comes up with another win. So huge thanks to Brian Manini and his group here at Revolutions Lanes in St. Joe. It's been a great weekend, and also all the sponsors with the Northwest Missouri Senior Bowlers Tour, Bullmore Lanes and Osage Beach with their added prize fund, McCarthy Auto Group, the title sponsor for the broadcast. Huge thanks to Carl Kramer and his guys, Berkey Turkey's Pro Shop here at Revolutions Lanes, Dan McCook and Ryan Burks for everything they do, Jason Chris with Face Designs for the banner work and everything else, Lisa Finley with Shelter Insurance, Finley Trucking and Transportation for their help, and of course Storm, Rotagrip, and 900 Global. So once again, another great tournament for the Northwest Missouri Senior Bowlers Tour, and that's going to do it for the 2022 season. Huge thanks to everyone that's been watching us and commenting and everything. Everyone have a great Christmas, a great holiday season, Happy New Year. And just be safe. Weather's going to get ugly down here, so everyone just be careful. Our next tournament is going to be in Olathe, Kansas, and it's going to be at Mission Bowl on 56th Highway, January 29th. Make sure you get your name on the list. It's going to be another great tournament. We'll have the finals, and we will see you then. So for Dan Schmerbach, congratulations again to Don Breen. Great bowling today as he comes up with another win. So for Dan and everyone else, I'm Ryan Ragland, and we will see you guys next year at Olathe, January 29th at Mission Bowl for the Northwest Missouri Senior Bowlers Tour, brought to you by Bullmore Lanes in Osage Beach. Have a great holiday season, and we will see you guys next month.